So, hey Sadhana and Vineet, welcome to Bangalore.
Hi. Thank you.
Cool. So, yes, both of you joined AlphaClub a while back. How has been the journey so far?
It is like pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Sadhana, add something.
Yeah. So I think it has been 4 months, and it has been extraordinarily awesome. Um so we as an agency have been doing good, but there were a lot of things which were holding us back. And with your support and Jayant, we have been pushed. Do this, experiment this. It's okay if you fail. Get up. Do this. I think that's what we are feeling excited about, and that's what
And while marketing for others, we were not marketing
for ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is something
Yeah.
like we have now started slowly we have started doing that.
Yes. Yes.
So, you guys run this brand called BrandBazooka,
Yeah.
and I want to know how did this name come into existence?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a beautiful story. Vineet
Yeah.
did this exercise. I think Vineet should take it
Yeah,
through.
so I actually took almost 6 months time to decide on this name.
Okay.
So I actually the idea was always that we will be a small team, but we'll do very powerful work. So I was thinking of some name, some analogy for that. So I mean, while brainstorming, just one thing came to my mind that when I was a kid, I used to play. I used to go to video game parlors and I used to play a game called Cadillac.
Okay.
And in that there was a character called Mustafa. And he would kill his enemies with different weapons, and bazooka was his
Strongest.
Okay.
weapon.
Ah.
And bazooka, and if you actually search about bazooka, it is actually a rocket launcher, but it's a mobile rocket launcher. So it's it does the big job, but it's very
Smaller in size,
small
it's
and
agile.
and so the name fitted with our philosophy also. So that's
Okay.
how.
So in the
Okay.
beginning,
And also, I wanted to keep a name which is like signifying brand launch. So
Yeah.
because we were launching brands and campaigns, so everything fitted well with this
so
name.
in the beginning, we actually had a tagline which says "Brand Bazooka, propelling brands."
Okay.
And then with the passage of time, now we have nimble, precise, deadly. Because this is what we did, in last 13 years that we existed.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you come from a background where you have also had a lot of presence in the traditional media, right? And it's not just about digital. And now you are integrating digital into the whole thing. And it's not just about direct response marketing, which is what we do. We do performance marketing. We generate leads, look at CTR, conversions, funnel, open rates, and everything. We are too numbers oriented, and we are too analytical. And we have also felt that in terms of the communication, the messaging, we are not necessarily doing anything that is like, kind of touching people's hearts and using that kind of messaging to reach people. And that's what you have been like primarily working on. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what that really means? Like, how do you even come up with a messaging? I have seen some of your ads and some of the campaigns that you have created, and some of the campaigns has given me goosebumps. Like, I saw that like, oh, wow. So what is the process and what is the belief system behind such messaging?
So can I take this?
Yes.
And then you can add on. So the idea of advertising has always been, whenever you speak to somebody, it's natural also. Whenever you speak to somebody, if you're able to trigger some emotion, then the relationship is beautiful, even between a being and a being. So either make them laugh, either it has to be warm, make them cry, sad, some emotion. If it is bland, flat, the relationship also doesn't bloom. The same goes in brand speaking. When you are talking to your audience, being a brand, you have to evoke emotion. The only thing what has happened with digital, the traffic style has changed. That's it. People 15 years back were spending more time reading newspaper or watching TV. Now they're spending more time on Instagram or on Google. So you have to be present there. But still when you speak to them, it has to be like that one-to-one call.
Yeah.
It has to be like that. And so whenever you're writing something, I always tell this, you always go back thinking you have been given an opportunity of one-to-one call. That's it. Digital empowers you to reach 1,000 people. That's it. Nothing has changed. So if you keep that philosophy, you will always end up going deeper. What we write that we don't go unnoticed. That's it. And how do we come up is something that Vineet takes care. So he's a better
the thing
person.
is that we started in around like in 2013 we were registered as a private limited company, and at that time digital was like coming up in a big way, but that time mainline communication was a very important thing to do, and brands were spending money. And that time there was a debate that should we spend more money on digital or on mainline. That was a debate that brands used to think.
That's still thing.
But
People still think.
Yeah, brands have come a long way on the digital journey. But that time, like they would spend on mainline communications, and like we had a very strong team that time, and we were like very good with mainline communications, and we always believed that our core would always be communication and branding and communication, because all these things will keep on changing. Like there was a time when Orkut was there, then Facebook, Instagram, these things keep on changing, but what doesn't change is the core, which is communication. So you just have to communicate, you just have to change your message according to the media, but the core thing is that your message should be very strong, and you should invoke some kind of response from them. So that is like the primary thing. And when we started with mainline, and then we slowly added digital thing to our services, and then digital became mainline more. So right now we are one of the very few agencies in the country who have equally strong team in both the things, and I think our biggest strength is that we are very media agnostic agency. Like we think from the communication perspective, and then we know how to take the same message to mainline, and then to the same message to Facebook, Instagram, and in LinkedIn, all those platforms. So like that has been our journey.
So I'll just add on. So there was this MNC pasta brand. When they entered into India, we were supposed to launch them. So it was a 360-degree launch. So meaning you create a campaign which will speak to their audience, and they said that they will be present and available everywhere. Okay, so we did print campaign, we did outdoor, we did radio, films, social media. But one thing, they were very keen on doing metro branding. The metro trains, like Mumbai, Delhi. So the entire team sitting there in the marketing, they thought, let's do something, and they thought they'll put up logo. We said, wait. In the entire briefing session, client would say, it actually take 11 to 12 minutes to cook this pasta. So we said, okay. We came up with a campaign, 11 minutes to Italy. Okay? Italy. Okay? Because that's Italian. The campaign, they loved it. It went everywhere. But then when it came to metro, how did we customize it? So in metro, when you travel, you will see. So for example, if it is Delhi, they say from Gurgaon to Chandni Chowk, 40 minutes. So we said, Delhi, Italy, 11 minutes. It was so media agnostic. So media agnostic. That you speak in the language that the media is. I think that is something which that touches the consumer. Somebody is traveling, this is so nice. Because you're speaking in that language. That's what he was saying, that is one very strong strength that we have seen that we developed all these ways.
So let's say a client comes to you, they want to work with you, and you are coming up with this idea. So what is the process of coming up with this idea? Where do you even start? Like do you sit and brainstorm with a bunch of people, or do you take any drugs to creative work? Or do you just sleep over it and suddenly an idea comes? I want to know more about
Yes, I will tell you this. And before answering this, I think I should, because you just touched upon that point about the drugs and the weed. This is something which, when we started operating, because we come from finance background, and we have learned all this the hard way, the ground up level. So 2 years, 3 years, we're doing great campaigns. One art director joined our team, creative, 15 days, 17 days gone. And every time there is a campaign, we all will think. I will also tell you the relevance of team here. Team is how much important team is. So we'll think, we'll brainstorm, and we'll do good content. I think 15, 17, 20 days, it was Vineet's birthday. So this art director comes and says, what is the plan for birthday? So we said, we'll do this, regular stuff. And then this art director asked Vineet, you don't take any wheat, any drug? And we both like, no, why? So how can you think of ideas? It is such a big notion that you can't even think till the time you are not on these stuff, which is not true.
Yeah,
absolutely not
absolutely
true.
not
I mean,
true.
it's not
I do
true.
agree with that, yeah.
And advertising agency by nature looks very glamorized when all these newcomers and youth, they see from outside. They say, every Friday, Saturday party happens. That's true. That's a balance of fun and seriousness. But to be honest, we are in one of the most serious professions in the world. You are the brand custodian. Somebody who has got that brand in life last 20 years, 50 years. You have taken that baby and you're going to promise that this brand is going to speak. It's a damn serious business.
Yeah, of course.
You just can't take it seriously, casual, no.
Yeah, and if the messaging goes wrong, what they have built over decades of perception, it changes.
Correct. So to answer that, no, it doesn't work like that. Now, what is the process? Whenever brands come, the first thing, and this is something which Vineet and we have very senior team members also. They all ensure. The first step is not jumping on any campaign, any writing, any execution. There is this saying that before you start cutting the tree, sharpen the axe. So sharpening the axe is one of the most hidden pillar, meaning research. You have to study, go through, know the brand, what is the competition, what they have been speaking since years, months, ages. What is that is going good? What is they are doing and not doing good? Because when as a client you are in the system, either you are so much in love with your own brand, or sometimes you're so much overwhelmed with so much of operations. You're not able to see things which we bring. So the first step is we come and we say we will meet you after 20 days. Give us 20 days. And on this, remind me a story and a campaign that we cracked a client when we were holidaying. Okay? I'll pakka tell you. That's a beautiful story. So we meet after 20, 21, 22 days. And that is the time when we have cracked. We have understood them, their pain, their challenges. And in this process, many times we keep calls with the client. We always tell this. As advertising agency, we know advertising very well. That is what we are doing 24/7. But no businessman knows their business the best. So it's a partnership actually. It's a partnership between the client and the advertising. So after 21 days, we again sit and we present what we have come across.
It actually starts with the dipstick research.
Yeah.
So actually we first ask the client to send us a brief. So they will, as per them, what is their challenge. So sometimes they know what their challenge, sometimes even they don't know what their challenge is. So first we ask from them that as per them, like where they are standing right now and where they want to go. Based on their knowledge, they will give us a document. Then we'll do a dipstick research. So suppose, let's say FMCG brands comes to us, we will go to market actually, and we'll actually go to shopkeeper to buy that stuff, and we'll say which one is good. And he will tell us, he will try to sell us something. Ground level research we do.
Dipstick.
Very dipstick kind of a thing. But we go there. We go there and we. Yeah.
Because initial research.
Because there are strategy agencies who do only this thing, but we are not very deep into it. So that's why we call it dipstick.
That's research. A 4, 5, 6 months research. Deep research.
Yeah. So we do this kind of a thing. So sometimes we get insights, like sometimes you shopkeepers would tell us very insightful things. Like suppose a brand is very good, but the product is, let's say, expensive for most of the people. So even though you have not, if your product is good, but if you're not priced it well, that can be one insight. So similarly, we get to know something about the brand from that research. After we get the brief and the research, then we sit with our team and we tell them that this is the thing that we are here we are, and now the brand wants to go there. Let's say you bring a brand. Let's say you have a toothpaste brand. Now you give me a brief that I want to gain some market share. Now to gain that market share, you have to actually compete with Pepsodent, Colgate, all these kind of brands.
Yeah.
So if you are actually selling right now, so I will actually go to places where you are selling. I'll go to that shopkeeper and I'll ask for that product, and that shopkeeper will also tell me something about that product, and then I will actually, based on that, I will see that like maybe in certain geographies something could be very good, but in some other geographies that may not work.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are there. So after that thing is done, then after the research is done, then we crack a campaign for the brand.
So I'll just add on here. So while we are doing campaign, again the idea is, because now we know what is the problem. So when I started, I said you have to trigger an emotion. So if the pain is price, if the pain is अरे पता नहीं इसका result कैसे आएगा. So once you know what is the pain, which either comes through client's brief and a dipstick research. So if you crack a campaign which exactly talks that particular pain, answering that pain, tell me why will you not leave an impact? You will leave an impact. So after coming back presenting, we ensure that we are in the right direction. Again, it's a partnership between agency and client. So I always tell my clients, it's not a vendor relationship, it's a partnership. So because many times we come back and we say, hello, this is, and they say, oh no, you went wrong here. So you as an agency can go wrong there. So be open to listen. You have to be very open, very observant. Do that, get that. After then real writing starts, designing starts. So there it's like writing. Then there is no process as such. You know the pains, you know the points, you know what to write. Then how beautifully you can express, how precisely you can express. We crack that. Then we see what can be so imagine if there is a brand which is youthful. We really can't go with pastel shades in communication. It has to be brightful. So, I always tell this is something which Vineet always tells to the team, that brand is like a human being.
Correct.
Vineet, tell them that example, that if you are the funniest man.
Yeah. So basically, me and our CCO, we were discussing, and we were discussing that if you are a funny man, and if you go to a bar, and if you want to tell everybody that you are a funny guy, how do you do that? You shake hand and tell everybody that I am a funny guy. No, you don't do that. You crack a joke. So advertising is exactly like that. You don't say that I am the best product. You just convey it in some indirect way which communicates that. And also in communication, there's a principle that you can't say everything. So our biggest challenge is to say one thing, and what is that one thing?
Yeah.
So like if there's a toothpaste brand, so like if you would have seen those ads जहाँ पे they would say that इस toothpaste में नमक है. No, they have actually cracked a value proposition which appeals to certain people. They've created their product also like that, and they're communicating that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Now it also will fight bad odor and all those things, but they are like focusing on that particular thing.
Yeah.
So every product will have 20 different things, 20 features, 100 features, but you have to crack which feature you want to like even
with.
Mercedes and BMW. Mercedes would say that we are more stable. Like you have seen that.
Yeah.
So but BMW may be saying something about more sporty. So because they know that their target audience is like that, and that's deliberately they tweak their communication accordingly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what I have been thinking about is that when it comes to marketing, digital marketing, persuasion, the way you approach B2B and the way you approach B2C is different, because in B2B it is easy to not easy, but the process is that you have to generate leads, then you have to nurture them, long sales cycles, convince them on the solution that you are providing, and usually that works very well for us, and we have refined that process over time. What we do is a lot of B2B. Yes, we do a little bit of B2C where we do training for students and everything, but there is still something to explain. Hey, this is the product feature and everything. But when it comes to something which I wouldn't necessarily say a commodity, but I would call it a simple product. Let's say a pen, right? A pen, the pen is not very much in differentiation from other brands, right? It just gets things written. And you can't say that is ink mein banaya hai and this is a factory that we manufacture, and you can't go into the technical details to convince somebody to buy a pen. And in such cases, how do you take the message out there is by doing an emotional impact and kind of communicating and doing that branding, so that when they are thinking of buying a pen, this brand becomes in the consideration set.
Absolutely.
As you put
yeah,
it, right?
I always put it.
So I saw this ad for a pen that you had
Yes.
made. Can we go and play that ad?
Yeah.
So this particular ad, can you explain the campaign?
Yeah. So I'll do that. So we were working for this stock listed brand, Link Pens. They are stock listed in Indian Stock Exchange, 500 crore group. And you're very right. What they're doing is pens, and they wanted to do a campaign, Link Pentonic. Okay, and so the challenge, absolutely with us, was this only, that there is no very strong differentiating factor. It writes well, it writes smooth, it writes faster. That's it, and everything has been done already by many other brands. So what do? Many times in such situations, it's always good to see around. What's happening in the country? What's happening in the economy? Can brand ride on that? If that can happen, that is one of the best things that can happen. So when we were thinking about this campaign, that time in India, Pulwama attack had happened. So the Indian economy, news, everywhere, it was about warriors. It was about fighting back. Then there were a set of people, surgical strike, good, bad, whatever. But that warrior thing was there. One. Second, as a pen has bigger audience in students section. And student, whenever they go for exams, they feel like warriors. They're fighting that exam spirit also. We saw some connection there. We said, let's try. We thought of a lot of campaigns, and one campaign which clicked with client also, and we also loved it, is this film that we did. I'll play it and then we can.
Sure.
The choice of exam warriors. Link Pentonic. Write the future.
So here we actually compared, the warrior in the field and a warrior in the exam center. And that's how we established the pen. And it did wonder. It ran during IPL. It ran on digital and social media. Brought beautiful impressions. Now everybody seeing this ad did not run and buy Pentonic. No. But you left an impression. You left something which was worth watching 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds. That is the job. That is the fight. That whenever somebody is seeing you, subconsciously they start loving you. That is the fight for.
The positive brand association that you have is more than enough. Like next time I go to a stationery shop, I'm definitely going to buy a Pentonic pen.
So it was never about hurrying. No. Just stay a little patient.
So like you said, for B2B versus B2C, so companies like Link Pens, they sell online, but their major focus is through distribution, like normal offline stationery shops and all. So for these kind of brands, so their challenge is that customer should ask for the pen instead of a shopkeeper pushing that pen. So to do that, actually you have to create love for the brand. So for that you need to have some emotional connect with those audience, and because if you actually look at it, all these brands that we use in our daily life, they have been successfully doing that. If we right from Colgate to Apple, any product that you can think of, that you love that product and that brand, and that's how you keep on buying it again and again on a daily basis. So that's what ad agencies, good ad agencies and good brands are able to do.
And I'll add on here. I tell this, in the world of this digital thing, it's only the media has changed. But even today, somebody will end up buying a product, will always be a very conscious decision of love that they have for the brand. It will never happen because you are present on digital, great CTR, no. They will love you, then only they'll buy. Because the human psychology behind buying is still the same. It's just the visibility platform has changed. But the love, the relationship, that's still.
It is always the human to human connection. The channel might be anything. Tomorrow we might have like holographic messages, 20 years later, like Star Wars, who knows. But still the message which connects one human to other human. And when you look at it, even the language is just a medium of communication. End of the day, it comes down to feelings. Like, how do we connect with one human to other? And that's what humans are good at. Like humans are the most dominant species on planet Earth because we have the technology, like we are a hive mind, right? We can connect with other people, influence other people, persuade other people, and that's never going to change. Yeah. A lot of people are like, hey, I have learned how to run Facebook ads. Now I am a marketer.
No. I tell this to clients so many times, and especially in this last 3-4 years. Good, the technology is empowering us. But just doing 2 courses from YouTube is not equal to being in marketing. It's too deep.
And that's what I always say, that before you can become a digital marketer, you have to become a marketer first.
Yes, absolutely. So that's how it is.
Can we see one more ad that you have made? This also I liked.
Yeah.
For Indostar.
No, so here I will tell you. I told you not give me a reminder. I told you to give
for
me.
when we went on holiday. And
But what was that reminder for?
So it was like how we got business when we were on a holiday.
Yeah. So this has got a beautiful story. We were on a holiday and we were in Rishikesh. We were going through a bus. It was a big group, like 50-60 people. And we were all asleep because it was a night journey. It was 6 a.m. in the morning somewhere. I was on the bus window. I just opened my eye for a second and I saw a hoarding which said Kashipur.
Okay.
So I could feel, there is some space, some place. I think after 45 minutes, 1 hour, we reached our destination. Okay, done. And then we started enjoying. 4-5 hours later, I just get a call. And I speak to this fellow and he says that, I got your reference and we are into TMT bars. Okay. And we have got a long history of 30 years, but we are lacking that brand push in the market. And we are struggling badly that when our salespeople are going in the market to distributors, we feel we are the ones who are pushing. They are not welcoming us. That's our challenge. But we don't know what to do. Like a layman will speak. I asked him, where are you calling from? He said, I am calling from Kashipur. I was like, Kashipur? Where are you? So he said, Uttarakhand. And then it flashed. I said, they are just 30 minutes away. I said, I am in Rishikesh. Acha, okay, done. So the first thing I did, again, this is as advertising people or as entrepreneur. This is not as an advert. This is an entrepreneur. The moment you see an opportunity, boss, you're holidaying, you're not holidaying, jump in. I said, okay. I said, you're just 30 minutes away. We are happy to meet you. And then we'll discuss. I said, okay. He said, I will come to your hotel. I said, come. The founder comes.
Okay.
Sits with us for an hour, sees all the work, understands, and we try and make him understand. No persuasion. We just tell him, hey, this is what you're doing, this is where you should go. He said, okay, let me think and sleep over it, come back. Gaya. Second day he said, can I come and meet you for 1 more hour? I said, okay, come please, no problem. He said, sorry, we are disturbing her. No, you're not disturbing, please come. He came. And he said, and he was all convinced. But there was something which was stopping him. I don't know what. But he could say, because all the FAQs were answered. But still something. So now again what I'm doing is sales. I just told you what you should do as an entrepreneur. Now I'm telling you what you should do, something for sales closing. Vineet told me, and one of my cousin brother. So I always heard him, Vineet tells me. So I gave a guarantee. I told this fellow, I could see the volume and the length and breadth of the work. So I said, sir, you have to give me 1 lakh rupees ka advance. And after this, I remember, after this you come and meet us after 21 days in our office. We are going to think about your brand. We'll do everything, whatever we can think. If you don't like now, no question asked, take your money back. That was one line, Didi, that gave him confidence to move 1 step. I said, and as a founder to founder, that's a promise, that's a commitment, no questions asked. I said, okay, done. He gave me that advance. We were also happy. He was obviously happy. 21-22 days went. He came, met her in office in Gurgaon, and we showed him the campaign. his pains, his challenges, everything, and what he should think come across as print and everything. He loved that. He was blown away. He loved it. And we were also happy. And then in that conversation, after that meeting, he opened more. And he told that he has got a budget for brand ambassador as well. In the first meeting, he didn't mention.
Okay.
So we said, okay. And then we started figuring out. So again and again, he will not realize as a common business owner, he's briefing us. He did not know this term. But we kept asking, Acha, aapko order kaise milta hai? Why people repeat? So again and again, he'll say, our performance is very good. That's why hamara repeat customer bahut hai. We said, okay. Point number one. Point number said, he is open for brand ambassador. No, so how we think also. So this is an example. So he went, we all sat.
So we asked him that where do you sell? So his strongest area was like UP,
Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, all the northern
So
belt.
we thought of a celebrity who would be famous in this belt. So if I pick up a very famous celebrity who is let's say famous in South, that would not solve his purpose. So we thought of a celebrity who would have all these characteristics and would be famous in this region. So we thought of Manoj Bajpayee and what is the other name?
Nawazuddin
Siddiqui. So we proposed him both, and finally things we could work out with Manoj Bajpayee. And we
So if you see Manoj Bajpayee was not the Hulk looking guy. He was not the Tom Cruise. He always got work in Bollywood because of his performance. He proved. So the brand had an association with the product. That boss, you got work because you could prove. And secondly, the geography that Vineet mentioned, this guy had a good market, Manoj Bajpayee. So then we told him, ye karte hain. He loved it. And then we thought of this script. We did print campaign, social media, digital, lot of stuff. So we'll show you the one film that we did with Manoj Bajpayee.
आसमान छूने की ख्वाहिश किसे नहीं होती, पर बुलंदियों तक पहुंचने के लिए आग से तपकर गुजरना पड़ता है। तब बनती है नींव मजबूत और ताकत का टूट। पेश है हिंदुस्तान एक असली परफॉर्मर, मजबूत, रिलायबल और दमदार।
So we had those characteristics. Mazboot because it is a TMT bar.
Yeah.
Reliable because so all the buildings are like.
Yeah.
I mean, if your Sariya is not good, the building will fall.
Yeah.
So reliability and damdar means like powerful. So we had all the characteristics for the brand and the ambassador, and like we married them well, and we got a brilliant.
Fantastic. I think we had a good discussion about the work that you do, how you approach your work and everything. But I think the operating software which powers all this work is you guys. So I want to ask a little bit about, first of all, you are husband and wife and you are working together as partners and building this entire brand. So what are the challenges that you face when your partner is also your life partner? I want to know about the challenges first, then we will go about the benefits.
That's a lovely question, and this is one question that we always kept. We have been asked from years and years. I think in our case, I don't know if Vineet remembers some challenge. I don't know that, but I'm answering my part, and then Vineet can answer his part. I think for us, being life partner and work partners has worked for us. And I think it comes because of 2-3 things that now I can speak. While we started, we worked, we would have little nagging here and there, we would not have realized. But now 13-14 years later, I can look back and tell you, one, we as individuals never had egos. Never. As individuals. So not as being his wife or he being the male husband or partner, nothing. We as an individual. So I think that worked in our favor. Number one. Number two, we always worked in our scope of work as business partners. So there's a great strength. So technology, a lot of thinking, Vineet is very good at. very good at. So there's an unsaid confidence that I know if there is a meeting and he's there, nobody else can answer that well. And he knows that I am the best people's person. It doesn't take even a second to connect me to you. Because there's no motive when I speak to you. Never. I love speaking to you. And I love solving your problem if I can. Otherwise, you're my friend. He knows that. So I think when we know that how we set, in Hindi there is this word called khacha. You fit in well. I think that has worked for us. Maybe more formally you can answer.
So I don't know about challenges honestly, because
Yeah.
I don't remember any challenge that I have faced. But yes, it can be challenging if you don't understand each other and like there is a friction. So let's say there are two founders who are good in the same thing, then that can bring friction.
Yes.
But with us it's completely like our works are totally different. Like she would talk to customers, bring in new clients. Once the client has been onboarded, I come, then I understand his problem. Sometimes in the pitching process I'm involved, but my role is generally to think of a solution for the brand. But I don't get involved in like daily sales processes and everything that she's too good at. So, and sometimes I take a step back, even though I can do her work, but I know that she can do it better than me, so I will take a step back. So I can also speak to clients, but I would say that why to speak to client, because she can do it better. So it's like you as a team. So I always think that you can be successful if you have a very good team. And team, like she is my co-founder, so that co-founder is like the most important part of any business. Yeah. So for us, honestly, there's no challenge as such. We have to just understand each other. And if you are like complementing each other, I don't think that anything can be better than that. And since you are life partners, you don't have any other issues also. The only thing that is like, suppose there's a TVC that is getting made, you have to go out, and both of you have to go out. Then the family, the kids and all, then you have to arrange for them. That's the only issue. But otherwise, I don't.
You also get to spend time together while you are working, so there is no separate time that needs to be allocated. Arey quality time spend karo.
And we never competed with each other. That never came in our mind.
That's very important.
Never ever. How can you compete with somebody? You only compete. We always have this equation very clear that our competition is we, ourselves. So what Sadhana was doing, so I remember when I did my first sales call. I don't know how did I sell even. Now when you can call me 2:30 in the night and sleeping and I'll tell you what's your problem, man. So my competition is me. His competition is he. One, very clear. Secondly, even if you want to compete with somebody, if you're runners, compete with a runner, no, we know our qualities are different. How can we compete? And we made very sure in families also. Like, sometimes it came, I'll tell you, this is very good. Sometimes it came that I will front end. So Indian society, sometimes he being the male, he should be front ending, Sometimes it might come across. But we never had that feeling. Because the feeling is a person who is strong at something must do that thing.
Yes.
Because the idea is about come across as a stronger unit.
Of course. It's like two pillars supporting the same roof.
Correct.
One is not leaning on the other.
Nobody's leading. So it worked, In fact, I will also tell you, this is also important because sometimes this is a question which comes. So I know that, don't you fight? This is a question. We fight. In conference room, many times, in the front of team we fight. But anyways when we fight, we never fight like kids and howling and shouting and snatching. We don't do that. It's like a very professional fight. No, I don't think so, this campaign chalega. I don't think so, this language theek hai. There's fight, and once you're out of the conference room, the fight is gone.
Disagreement is not disrespect.
Correct. So that we were very clear. We were very clear that if there is a fight, that should happen. Because if you'll not fight just because, it's my husband or she's my... No. Then you're not being true to the brand or the campaign. Fight. Because many questions come, that's good,
Yes.
So I think there was
So
no
like,
challenge.
and also you have to define very clearly, like if it is a creative call, final call is mine. Then she, even though she doesn't agree, she will have to agree with me.
Got it.
Similarly, if it is something related to a client or pricing issue, sometimes I feel that maybe we can reduce a bit, but she thinks no, this will not, this we should not do, or some other thing. Then she is the one who is taking those kind of calls.
So we never step in the other person's room only.
Not everybody gets this, so kudos to you. You have made it work, and it's part luck and part your own work and involvement in this, which is making this work. So now I want to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship itself. And every entrepreneur, especially if you have run a company for like 10-15 years, you would have had some points where it felt like, "Arey, this is not working, let me shut down this, maybe I will look for a job. I don't think I'm made for this." And what was the lowest point in the journey where it felt like, and what triggered that? Because it's always a trigger that you are handling a lot of things, and then you have the capacity for it, and then one more thing comes, like, "Arey, AB, I have to manage. Dude, I can't. I don't think I am like capable of doing that." So tell me one such example which came in your business, which made you feel like, "Arey, I'm going to quit."
It
But you did
happens a
not.
lot. It happens so many times that we have.
I was
felt
just
like
going to
quitting.
say it happens even today. So the congratulations, all the entrepreneurs, if they're feeling same, we all are in the same boat, So nothing new. Would you like to say
I
something?
would just say, as an entrepreneur, I came into entrepreneurship because I always felt that I want to earn a lot of money. But honestly, speaking from experience, if you want to earn a lot of money, you should. If that is the only motive, you should get into job.
Yep.
Because honestly, as an entrepreneur, you don't even pay half of your market, market
Yes,
worth.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can like make 3x of what I'm
Yeah.
making from my own
Exactly.
business if I go out and do a job.
Yeah.
Correct.
So actually, at the end of the day, what you realize is that you are doing this because you love this thing,
Yeah.
and that gives you the power to sustain all these, turbulences, and that is one thing. And as an entrepreneur, yes, there have been many times that we have felt that, and those times has actually, we have realized that if we look back that we have faced this thing that we have always got business from reference. So what happens in our business, the conversion cycle is too long.
Yeah.
So you are talking to, let's say, 10 clients. Now from these 10 clients, let's say 5 would convert in the next 1 month. The next 5 may take even 6 months to convert, and we have even had instances where a client has converted after even 5 years.
Yeah.
So we had like really long sales funnel. So what happens is, like, client would speak to us and they would register us as a good agency, but sometimes they think that we are expensive, or they don't have enough budgets or something or the other, but they have this thing in their mind, so they may even call us even after 5 years. But the thing is, we never had control over that thing because we were only dependent on references. That's why we came to AlphaClub, and we realized that we have to create our own pipeline. And
for sure.
because we need to, sometimes you, as an agency, you even take some clients who you think are not good, but because you don't have enough pipeline, sometimes there are highs and lows in every business. Sometimes in your low phase, you take some clients which you actually know that they are not good clients. But I told Sadhana that if if we want to have a good pipeline, only then we can solve this. If we have a very good healthy pipeline, only then we can pick and work with best of the clients. And also, you can do good work only with good clients. That's very sure. I mean, you cannot do work with a bad with a bad client.
Yes.
So we want to. So in our business, we are as good as our portfolio. So it's very simple.
Yes.
If there are 2 clients, one person is paying me 10 lakh and the other person is paying me 5 lakh, but this is a good client, I would any day go for this client. Because I would create a much better portfolio with this client.
Yeah.
So that that these things we have learned over time.
And answering one more thing and adding on, generally when we see the points where we felt quitting or ab nahi hoga, has always been transitioning times, transitioning phases. Always. Mujhe yaad aata hai ye. So when we would have started with 2 people. So getting 5 more people is a transition.
Yeah.
We as entrepreneurs, there is no school, university in India which teaches you entrepreneurship in practical sense. So we know how to work and speak and not eat. But when there is a team, there is something that you must do, which you don't do because you don't know. These are things that you learn,
Yeah.
But whenever there is a phase, you feel like, "Arey yaar, ye nahi ho raha." मे बी आप नहीं समझा पा रहे हो, यार टीम की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. वन, फ्रॉम मेन लाइन टू डिजिटल, बिग ट्रांजिशनिंग, करें नहीं करें, you know, things like that. Website is a very technology driven thing. We being an advertising agency, website kare nahi kare, always transitioning, you know. So those are the times. But
one more thing.
but one thing that I say now, entrepreneurship is the best thing which can happen.
Yes.
Best thing. I think if I believe in this theorem that you have got one life, I don't know, I don't want to not at all discourage people who love job. They must, they should definitely. But the kind of colors, the kind of experiences, the highs and lows you experience in the entrepreneurship journey now, when you look back, damn, you have got a story to tell.
Yes.
Otherwise it was a flat
Life.
I'll get up 9 o'clock, go code something, come back. Here ऐसा लग रहा था, वाओ ये बिजनेस आने वाला है, 4 बिजनेस, पता लगा एक भी नहीं आया. There is something in your stomach, man. You feel. And then you were not expecting, and somebody calls, आपसे 5 साल पहले बात किया था, and you were so convincing, आज मुझे चाहिए, आप आओ. You feel on 11th sky कि wow, what's happening? So entrepreneurship is best.
So I clearly remember 2 instances. There was a time when we hired our team, like there was one copywriter and there was one art director guy when we initially started, and we hired them after a lot of effort, because as a new agency, when you don't have clients, even, you know, good people don't come and join you, even if you pay them higher salary. So what happened, we after a lot of effort, we hired these 2 guys. We were working, and we onboarded a very big client, and while working, after a month or so, these guys came to us on a Friday night, and they said that from Monday will not come. And we had this client who was like, we had to deliver to this client, and we were like, I can't tell you the feeling. I can't even tell you the feeling. We were
and
like,
this is one of the big stock listed client. Not the link pen, but another stock listed big client. Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday off, and they say Monday se nahi aayenge.
So we were like, how will we even deliver? And as an entrepreneur, you have committed something to your client, and you can't see that.
Go back on
those words, and because of somebody else. So we were actually mourning. So this was like one of like the darkest day in our life. But obviously now these things happen. So now you understand that these things will happen. You have to prepare yourself.
I was an entrepreneur. I was the leading entrepreneur in terms of sales, and that night I had tears. So as entrepreneur you cry because you feel like khatam, Monday deliver kaise hoga, you know.
And hiring these people would actually take you almost 2 months to hire a new team. Now till 2 months, how will I survive? I had no idea. But so these
and
were
we
like we pulled up, and after that we learned one thing, that whatever may happen, you have to keep a backup always.
Of course.
You can't have a single person in any department.
You need some level of redundancy. In the
so that is one lesson that we have learned. One more thing I remember, that there was a very big hotel chain, very big MNC kind of hotel chain, and we worked for one of they were chains, so there were many hotels. We worked for one of the hotels, and they were launching a new hotel
in Indore,
and for that they had a very huge order. And since we were doing very good work with these guys, so they said, why don't you do work for them also, the new branch. So they were coming up with a hotel in Haridwar. So we said, why not? Indore. Yeah. So why don't you work for that Indore hotel as well? So we said, why not? And because
it's a 5-star property.
So since we were working for this brand, we never doubted them, and we without even taking money from them, we spent a lot of time on getting quotations and everything. There were very small intricacies involved, so we actually spent approximately a month or more than that.
24-25 days, almost.
And we spent so much time, and it was a huge order, and we were almost getting it. And on the last day, that PO went to someone else, and I can't tell you the situation in our house was that like somebody had died in our family. It felt so bad.
Now when we look back, we laugh at it.
So it's not the end of the world.
Now we laugh, it's okay. It was a part of life. But that day, it felt like life has stopped. And nahi hoga. We are not made for this. You start doubting. You start cribbing. We are nonsense only. Why we didn't ask for advance? Why we didn't ask for PO? So there are times, but when you bounce back more stronger,
Very
more
strong.
powerful.
Yeah. So until now, you have been mostly getting clients via referrals, and when you are getting clients via referrals, it cannot be very consistent, right? And you want to build this company into the next stage and transition again. I think it is the right time for you to start building a pipeline for yourself, which is to build your personal brand. And whether you realize it or not, you are extremely good at storytelling, right? and there is a story to tell. Especially, we work with a lot of people who are just into freelancing, just starting a brand new agency, and they don't have a lot of case studies and stories to tell. And it's very difficult for the client to trust them, but they keep bombarding clients, and some conversions comes in, and that's how you start. But here you already have like a 10-year experience in building this company. In fact, 15 years. The private limited is like 10 years old, but you have been in this for more than a decade, and you have so many good stories to tell, and you are naturally good at telling these stories, right? So I think it is the right time for you to start building your personal brand, writing blogs every week. You can make one video every week, and you can talk about the challenges that you go through while you are going ahead and trying to create these kind of creatives, position the brand. And it can start out like, let's say somebody is following you today and he is a small entrepreneur, the company is small, they are not yet ready to start investing heavily in branding, and they would like to learn from you. Hey, how do I think about branding? Because with 15 years of experience in digital marketing, my branding has always been the side effect of customer testimonials, reviews, but I have never took control of it. That, hey, this is the kind of feeling and the impact, the positioning that I want to position in the market. It was never deliberate. And being a extremely analytical oriented digital marketer, I have not brought in so much of creativity. So I have learned a lot, since you have come to Bangalore and we have had conversations and looking at these, ad creatives. I'm like, मुझे भी ऐसे कुछ करना है. That people see digital Deepak, pixel track brand, and they look at that, and there is a certain kind of positioning, and it is even easier today to actually build such a brand, because I don't need to go and advertise on TV or advertise on newspaper to start my branding activity. TV might reach lakhs of people, but digital marketing you can reach thousands of people, and within those thousands of people, if I can get that right brand positioning, that is a good place to start.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So I might not be at a position right now to go ahead and say, okay, let's spend 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs in creating this commercial and putting out the brand out there. But I would like to learn, and who better to learn from than a person like you, right? And there are n number of advertising agencies outside, and we only see their final result, and we don't even know who made it. We see so many ads, we don't know who made it, who is the person behind it, what is the thought process, and I don't think there are a lot of first movers here, and in this space you can be the first mover, that you go out and tell that, hey, this is how you think about branding. When we were at the AlphaClub event, you had given a presentation, and Koteshwar asked, hey, I keep seeing Coca-Cola ads, but I always buy thumbs up. Then what's the point? How would Coca-Cola reach a person like me and convince me? And then you said something very important, that the purpose of branding is not to persuade, but to bring that brand as part of the consideration set.
Absolutely.
And let's say there is some other XYZ brand, you don't even know about it, you are not even comparing it, right? So when people think about digital marketing, if digital Deepak does not even come into their picture, then how am I even having a chance to persuade them? But as long as I am there in the radar, then yes,
there's a probability.
There is a probability, and then you have this funnel, you have persuasion, consistent nurturing, which all we teach. But in terms of getting them to know about me and getting a position in their mind, that is what branding is all about.
Absolutely.
And I have learned, I have read Al Rice and Jack Trout and positioning, branding. I have read a lot of books. But when I actually look at campaigns from our own country, it is more relevant for them. And that's how I started, right? I did not think that अरे नील पटेल है, ये है, वो है, सब digital marketing सिखाते हैं. How would I be relevant? No, I want to be relevant in this country, in this geography. And in India, when people think about digital marketing, digital Deepak should come to mind. So all my case studies, examples, customers, everybody is from India, and here I am capturing the market. And recently I read an email from Uncle Variku. So there are certain things he does which is not very relatable to me, but I keep observing him what he does, and certain things makes a lot of sense to me. And he recently went to US and he went to Chicago, and he said post pandemic something is missing there. That feel is not there. And he put it in a very nice way. He said I'm not able to smell growth there. And that smell of growth is there in India right now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And every country, the country gets on a very fast growth path in spite of having problems like corrupt politicians and whatnot. In spite of having those problems, which we will do our part to purify it. But when the average age of the country goes from around like 25-30 years all the way to 45 years, that is when the country is on a growth path.
Absolutely.
Because people get married, they move out of their house, buy new houses, buy new cars, put the kids to school, and the entire spending of the entire economy starts increasing. Correct? So Japan is on its way out, the aged population is more, that energy is not there anymore. Europe, Australia, US, this is what we felt like, this is the market itself is how we felt, but that is now shifting to India. And with the whole de-dollarization happening where dollar might not be the world reserve currency 10 years down the line, BRICS countries are already thinking about trading within themselves with their own currencies.
Correct.
So that growth phase is going to come in India, and this is the best time to be an entrepreneur in India because you are going to work with that energy. You go to third wave coffee roasters here in Koramangala, every table mein there is an investor, there is a founder, and they are discussing funding rounds. Just by sitting there you will learn something about startups.
Correct.
And that is why I decided that let's move from Salem to Bangalore. This is where the action is happening. And let's move to Koramangala. And I heard that Flipkart was started out of a 2 BHK in Koramangala, became a $1 billion company. हम भी 2 BHK ले लेंगे. यहाँ से start
We'll repeat the history.
Abhi after 5 years we have upgraded from a 2 BHK to this office, which is a little bit bigger. But I can feel that energy here. You go to Raghavendra Coffee, which is right opposite here, and one guy is roaming around and his t-shirt he has some quote about APIs, like we break APIs so that APIs don't break you or something like that. So that smell of growth is there. Wherever you go, that enthusiasm is there, and a lot of people want to learn what you have learned in the past 15 years, and I think there is a very high demand for it. So I think there are two directions in which you can start building your personal brand. One direction is that you are going to be an inspirational figure for people who want to become like you, who want to start a branding agency, who are digital marketers. Within our own funnel, we have so many people watching this podcast will be like, hey, how do I think about branding? How do I approach it? What are the things that work in India? What is important here? So that is one area which you can focus on.
Sure.
And as a side effect of that, you will also be having a personal brand built on the B2B side. So whenever I worked on internship program, taught students who are just out of college and everything, we are teaching them digital marketing. It's not like a very profitable thing because how much students can pay? 10,000, 20,000 they can pay just getting out of college, or in college they want to learn digital marketing, and I cannot keep upselling them into a 1 lakh product, 2 lakh product, and I don't go to the extent of showing them that hey, मैं Ferrari drive कर रहा हूँ, you can also become like me, ऐसे करो वैसे करो. I don't get into that. But the kind of products we give to them, it creates a certain level of brand awareness for the personal brand. And when I go to B2B, like I approached Your Story CEO, and Your Story CEO, even when I approached her, it was not completely cold. That she has heard of Digital Deepak. That much is enough to just get the foot inside the door.
Correct, absolutely.
10-minute conversation led to a 1 hour meeting, led to a few more meetings, and we got like a project for 60 lakh per year project mil gaya. So I think there is a lot of work to be done, and I would like to work with you in AlphaClub, helping you build that personal brand. And super excited to do that with you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Looking forward.
So that's that. Any questions you have for me?
No.
You are doing a brilliant work of educating so many students, because I remember when we were students, we had no idea what to do in life. But if you go to college students nowadays, they at least know that at least digital marketing we can do. So because it is something that anybody can do. At the same time, yes, you have to learn it. You can start it very easily, but yes, you have to learn it. But thanks to guys like you, at least they have some, they have some hope that they can learn and become good at it. And we'll also try to, help them with what we know.
For sure. Cool, awesome. Thanks a lot for this podcast. We will definitely do one more podcast once you are back in Bangalore.
Sure.
I hope Bangalore was hospitable to you. Has good food.
Absolutely. It was awesome.
Fantastic.
We enjoyed the local food. What is that called? the Golu thing.
Paddu.
Paddu. I loved it. So yes, we thoroughly enjoyed.
Awesome. So next time you guys come to Bangalore, we will plan a few more things.
Yes,
we might go to some hill station around like Chikmagalur or
Sure,
something.
yeah.
We'll do like a small meetup of AlphaClub
Yeah.
members in Bangalore.
Sure.
And looking forward. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Deepak.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.